This story is called Serving Up Sabotage at a Volleyball Thriller. The sun blazed over the coastal town of Oceanview, casting a golden glow over its bustling streets as locals and visitors alike prepared for the annual Beach Volleyball Festival. Flags with colorful logos flapped in the breeze, and the sound of upbeat music mingled with the hum of excitement from the crowd gathering on the sand. Lulu Harper, a fiery 19-year-old with sun-bleached hair tied into a ponytail, dribbled a volleyball as she jogged toward the main court. Her bright smile and infectious laughter drew waves from the townsfolk, who had watched her grow from a beachside kid into one of the festival's most beloved players. "Hey Lulu, you ready to crush it this year?" a local shop owner called out, holding up a homemade Team Luna sign. Luna raised a hand in greeting but didn't slow down, her eyes fixed on the court where a group of players were warming up. Amid the crowd stood Jake Reed, a tall, brooding figure with sharp jawlines and piercing gray eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 unspoken stories. His dark hair was messy from the sea breeze, and his arms were crossed as he watched Luna approach, his expression unreadable. A transfer student from the city, Jake had arrived in Oceanview 3 months ago with a reputation for being one of the best high school volleyball players on the East Coast. But his reserved nature and refusal to talk about his past made him an outsider in this tight-knit town. Luna skidded to a stop just short of Jake, nearly colliding with him as she turned to set up for a practice serve. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," she exclaimed, catching the ball before it rolled away. Jake stepped back, his expression softening slightly as he met her apologetic grin. "No harm done," he said quietly, his deep voice carrying over the sound of the waves. Luna tilted her head, studying him with curiosity. "You here to sign up for the tournament? You're kinda late." Jake shrugged, his eyes flicking toward the festival banner. "I wasn't sure I was going to play." Luna's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "What? You can't miss this. It's the biggest volleyball event of the year." Before Jake could respond, a loudspeaker crackled to life, silencing the crowd. "Attention everyone," the festival organizer announced, his voice booming across the beach. "We have some unexpected news." A murmur rippled through the crowd as the man hesitated before continuing. "Seems our main court has suffered some damage overnight." Luna's eyes widened in disbelief. "What, how?" Jake frowned, his gaze narrowing as he scanned the area. Rumors of sabotage spread like wildfire as people rushed to inspect the court. The net was torn and deep gashes marred the sand. Luna clenched her fists, her face flushing with anger. "Who would do something like this?" Jake stepped forward, his sharp eyes scanning the scene. "Looks intentional," he muttered. "Well, we can't let this ruin the festival," Luna declared, grabbing Jake's arm and pulling him toward the registration booth. "Come on, city boy, you're signing up with me." Jake hesitated, clearly caught off guard by her forwardness. "You need a partner," she said before he could protest, her tone leaving no room for argument. "And I need someone who can keep up." Jake raised an eyebrow but didn't pull away. "You think I can keep up?" Luna smirked, tossing the ball into the air and catching it with a flourish. "Oh, I know you can. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here." "Fine," Jake said after a moment, his voice steady but laced with a hint of challenge. "But if we're doing this, we're doing it my way." Luna rolled her eyes good-naturedly. "Sure thing, boss. But don't say I didn't warn you." As they joined the line to register, whispers began to circulate about a rival group trying to sabotage the festival to host their own event in a nearby town. Luna and Jake exchanged a look, the air thick with unspoken determination. This wasn't just about volleyball anymore, it was about protecting something bigger than themselves. The day of the semifinal match arrived, and the beach buzzed with energy as fans from all over gathered to watch the highly anticipated game. Luna and Jake stood at the edge of the court, their warm-up done, their eyes locked on the opposing team Victoria Tori, Blackwood and Derek Kane, the rival group's top players. Tori, a tall, muscular player with a smirk that could cut steel, tossed the ball in the air as she eyed Luna. "Looks like you're stuck with the city boy," she sneered. "How quaint." Luna ignored her, focusing instead on Jake.
"You ready for this?"
Jake nodded, his expression calm but determined. "Let's show them what we're made of." The whistle blew, and the game began with a fierce serve from Tori that sent the ball hurtling toward Luna. Luna leaped, her arms extending in a perfect dive as she bumped the ball to Jake. He spiked it with incredible force, the crowd erupting as the ball slammed into the sand on Tori's side of the court. "Nice one," Luna shouted, giving Jake a high five as they rotated positions. The game was neck and neck, each point more intense than the last. Sweat dripped from their brows, and the sand burned beneath their feet, but neither team would back down. In the final set, tied at 19-19, Luna went for a sharp angle shot that Tori barely managed to block. The ball ricocheted wildly, and Luna dove for it, her hand scraping against the sand as she made an incredible save. A sharp pain shot through her ankle as she landed awkwardly, but she gritted her teeth and pushed through, tossing the ball to Jake with a flick of her wrist. "Luna, you okay?" Jake asked under his breath, his eyes darting toward her as they set up for the next play. "I'm fine," she lied, wincing as she put weight on her ankle. "Just focus on the game." Tori sneered from across the net. "Looks like your little partner's hurting, Jake. Guess you're on your own now." Jake ignored her, his gaze steady on Luna. "We got this," he said quietly. The ball came to him and he set it perfectly for Luna, trusting her instincts despite the risk. She feigned a soft shot before slamming the ball diagonally across the court, catching Tori off guard. The crowd erupted again as the ball hit the sand, but Tori wasn't ready to concede. She launched herself into a stunning backhand save, sending the ball flying back over the net. Luna and Jake exchanged a look, their minds racing in unison. This was the moment that could make or break the game. "Trust me," Luna whispered, her eyes gleaming with determination. Jake nodded once, and together they launched into a daring play they'd practiced but never perfected, a behind-the-back set and a sky-high block that would either win them the match or lose it all. The ball soared through the air as Luna leaped, her arms stretching above her head. Time seemed to slow as she tipped the ball to Jake, who was already in motion, his body arcing like a blade slicing through the tension. He slammed the ball with every ounce of strength he had, and it shot downward like a comet, crashing into the sand just inches from Tori's outstretched hand. The crowd exploded into cheers as the referee raised his arms. "Point to Luna and Jake. They win the match." Luna collapsed onto the sand, clutching her ankle but grinning from ear to ear. "We did it," she exclaimed, her voice hoarse from shouting. Jake sat down beside her, breathing heavily as he wiped sweat from his forehead. "We make a decent team," he admitted, a small smile tugging at his lips. Tori and Derek stormed off the court without a word, leaving Luna and Jake to bask in their hard-won victory. The semifinal was theirs, but the real challenge still loomed ahead: the final match, and the chance to expose the sabotage once and for all. Luna glanced at Jake, her heart pounding with excitement and a hint of fear. "You ready for whatever comes next?" Jake stood, offering her a hand. "I was born ready," he said, his voice steady and sure.
Thank you.